Okay, for today's homework, your child will be required to complete page 371 of their textbook. The lesson itself is called 10.5, divide by one digit number. Today they're going to be dividing using the standard algorithm, or what I also like to call long division. When they divide using the standard algorithm, I teach the kids, if they can remember the steps: daddy, mother, sister, brother, daddy, mother, sister, brother. Sometimes I refer to it as, does McDonald's sell burgers? If they can remember these steps, it will help them tremendously when they are dividing larger numbers. The D stands for divide, M stands for multiply, S stands for subtract, and the B stands for bring down. And then we start over at the top again once we finish those steps, and we start back over at divide: daddy, mother, sister, brother. So what I mean by this is, if we are going to be dividing 803 divided by 2, our first step would be to divide 8 and 2. So I know that 2 can go into 8 4 times exactly. The next step would be to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. The third step would be to subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. Then the fourth step would be to bring down. So we're going to bring down that next digit to 0. Then the process starts all the way at the top again with divide. This time we made a new number of 0, and we are going to take this number and divide it by the divisor of 2. So if we take 0 and we divide it by 2, well, 2 cannot go into 0 at all. So 0 divided by 2 would be 0. Then our second step would be to multiply. 0 times 2 is 0. Third step would be to subtract those two numbers. 0 minus 0 is 0. Fourth step would be to bring down the 3. Now we were going to do 3 divided by 2. Well, 2 can go into 3 one time without going over. If you do it 2 times, it would be 4. It would equal 4, and we don't want to go over. Then our next step would be to multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. And then our next step would be to subtract. And we get 1. And because we don't have any other digits over here to bring down, this 1 is going to be our remainder. So we would include that in our quotient with a letter R and then 1. And so our answer would be 401 with a remainder of 1. Let's do another example with a 4-digit number. So let me erase this and give a 4-digit number. So for example, if I gave you 7,345, and we wanted to divide that by 6. We're again going to use our steps of daddy, mother, sister, brother to remind us that we always start off by dividing, multiplying, subtracting, and then bringing down, and then repeating the process again, however many times, depending on how big the number is. Because we're dividing by 6, and 6 sometimes seems to be a little bit harder of a number for students to divide or multiply by, I usually have the kids create a tic-tac-toe chart in which they count by 6s. So if we were to count by 6, it would go 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, and 54. So we're going to start off with our first step of dividing. So 7 divided by 6, well, that cannot happen equally. 6 cannot go into 7 equally, but it can go into 7 one time without going over. We don't want it to go over. So it can go into 7 one time. And then the next step would be to multiply. So 1 times 6 is 6. The next step would be to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. The next step is to bring down. We bring down the 3. So now we have 13, and then the process starts all the way over again at the top. We divide. So 13 divided by 6. 6 can go into 13 two times without going over. So 1, 2. Otherwise it goes over to 18, and we don't want that to happen. So 13 divided by 6 is 2. Then we multiply. 2 times 6 is 12. Then we subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. We have a 4. We bring the 4 down. And now we have made a new number of 14. So we're going to take this new number 14 and divide it by 6. Well, 6 can go into 14 two times. 1, 2 without going over. So we put our 2 up there. Then we multiply that 2 times 6. That gives us 12. We subtract 14 and 12, which gives us a difference of 2. And then we have a 5 over here to bring down. And we have now made the number 25. So we're starting the process again. We want to take 25 and divide it by 6. Well, 6 can go into 25 1, 2, 3, 4 times without going over. We don't want to go to 30 because that would go over. So 4 times. So we would write 4 up here. Then we're going to multiply 4 times 6, and that gives us 24. Then we subtract those and we get a difference of 1. Because we have no more numbers to bring down, that 1 is going to be a remainder. So we will report that up top as a remainder of 1. So our answer will be 1,224 with a remainder of 1. I hope this helps.